Welcome everyone, another Nazareth classic. This one was suggested by James Forrest and I always enjoyed this song, so sat down, figured it out, watched them play this live. There's an old, I don't know if it's bandstand video, and I think they're just lip syncing, but they do go to the harmonics part at the end. Some of the later Nazareth incarnations don't really do the harmonics at the end, but I went ahead and figured them out. They're not in any tabs, and most of the tabs are wrong. They make some assumptions. If you really listen and go through the song, you'll figure it out. The first thing I want to speak to is the tuning. It's actually 2/10 sharper than standard. So if you have a tuner, go up 2 little notches from tune, 2/10, and you will be in tune with it. If not, just when they hit the E chord, tune your E string to that. But it's 2/10 sharper than standard, okay? I've written this out as usual, so my notes will be available right below the video. I've got my reverb pedal on. There's kind of a heavy reverb in this. Not obnoxious, but it's there. And we'll go through that intro that I just did, and then we'll go through the verse. And there's actually a pre-chorus before they get into the chorus. So for the lesson, I went ahead and turned off my reverb pedal, but basically what we're doing is going from a D to an E. We'll slide up as we hit the D and then hit the E again. Now, you'll hear him, it just really depends. It's not a set pattern, but sometimes he'll hold it, then slide down. Other times he'll just hit it and be done. So, again, it's a feel thing, but we're going to do that twice. Alright, then we go to an A6 power chord to a G6 power chord. Now we're going to go back to D to E, but we'll do it 3 times. Back to our A and G. One more D to E. Now we're into the verse. Alright, so that's the intro. Not real difficult. The verse, the first verse and second verse are the same. The third verse, there's a little change, and I'll speak to that. I noted it in my tab. But the first measure, the verse, we're basically going from A to B, alright, and our D to E, 1 each. Alright, when we get to the A, B the second time, we just come down and go back from our E to D. Alright, so that's a half measure. Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, this again is where people didn't really listen to what he's doing and tabbed it wrong. The second half of this measure, after we go through the A to B twice, we're going to not hit E to D, we're going to hit D slid up to E. So the second half of the measure will sound like this. So all he does is slide up. There's a little bass lick in there. He leaves him some room, so he's just sliding up. There's not another hit. All right, so let's go through one full measure of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second measure is just 2 sets of the D ending, E to D ending. pre-chorus. Okay, so that's verse 1 and verse 2. The pre-chorus, which is the same throughout, we're going to start off with our A to B. Then we're going to go right down and we're going to go to E to F sharp. All right. So let me play the whole pre-chorus because there's some ending chords. All right. So it sounds like this. And that leads us into the chorus. So those chords, after we hit the E to F sharp, we come back to E, D, and then B on the 5th group. And that's when he says, "You're Miss Misery," and they go into the chorus. So for the chorus, what we're doing is coming back to our G6 power chord up to A, and then we're going to hit A again up to B and hit B after sliding into it. Just sing the chorus, you can follow right along. You're Miss. Again. Again. Partially. So the chorus does 3 of the G, A, and then A to B. Then it ends with G, A, and then E. Then we start what I call the post-chorus. Okay, post-chorus structure is very similar to the intro. We're going to do 2 chord slides and hits to a set of individual chords, then 3 chord slide hits, then 2 chords, and then 1 more chord slide. All right, so the chord slide for the post-chorus is going to be A to B. All right, we'll do that twice, and then we just come down E to D. Now we'll do the A to B 3 times. End it with 1 more A, B. Then we're into verse 2, which is exactly like verse 1. Takes us into the pre-chorus 2, which is the same as the pre-chorus we learned, and chorus 2, which is exactly the same as we've learned. After chorus 2, we start the solo. We'll hear the solo rhythm. The first measure of the solo rhythm is the intro. So we're going to be doing the D to E, doubles, and then strike it again twice. And then our A to G, then 3 of the D to E's. All right. The difference is here, he's going to strike the E twice once we get, quote, cooking. All right. So we're going to do the D to E and then 1 strike. Then we'll do it again with 2 strikes. Then we come to our A to G. Now our D to E's will have 2 strikes once we get there for the next 3 times. Back to our A, G, and then 1 more double strike E. All right, now we're going to move, it's going to change. They're actually changing keys here, and the solo is appropriate for that. We're going to our E to F sharp. All right, the E to F sharp, just like the structure we just did, 2 E to F sharps, and then we're going to go B to A. All right, but the whole time through this, once we get to our F sharp, we'll hit that twice, kind of following the pattern again as we're cooking. And then we end it on an E. And what they do is come in with verse 3. Now verse 3, when I talked about a difference, and I noted this in my notes, it's really both measures are the same. We're not going to do any D to E and just stop there. We're going to do both of them with an E to D. So this will be 4 times or 2 measures of the verse 3. I'm just going to do it once through. And then we would do that again, and that measure, and then again twice more, and verse 3. Then we're into pre-chorus 3, which is the same as all the other pre-choruses. Then we go into the chorus out. Now the chorus out, again, I always research these, and I looked up the tab and I'm like, oh, this is easy. They just keep going through this out. No, it's a little different on the very last measure. So we'll go through that. We're going to go through the solo then, and then the harmonics at the end. You'll have the whole song. All right, one last rhythm to talk about would be the outro, chorus 3. So we're going to do 2 full measures for the chorus. All right, 2 full measures for that. Then the third measure changes. We're going to go to the E to F after our G to A. And he'll strike that twice, just like we have before. Back to our G, A, one more time to the E and F. Then we go back to the normal chorus, last part to end. That E sort of fades out. There's a little bit of keyboards, background. I'm not sure if it's keyboards, it's been a while. Anyhow, that's when the harmonics come in, okay? So we'll go over the solo. You got all the rhythm there. We'll go over the solo, which is played on slide, and then we'll go over the ending harmonics. So the first part of the slide solo, we're going to come from about the 7th fret on the 2nd string into 12 on the 2nd string, and then hit 12 on the 1st string, coming back to 10. So what we're doing, we're sliding in, like I said, 12 on the 2nd string, then hitting 12 on the 1st string, coming back, hitting 10 on the 1st, then 2nd, back to 1st. I'm sorry. Then we come up to 12, hit the 1st, then 2nd string, back to 1st, sliding up to 15, back to 12. And then we come to 9 on the 3rd and 2nd string and slide down. All right, at that point, we kind of change positions. We're going to go 5 up to 8. Back to 5, slid, back to 8, back to 5, and then to 10. Then back to 5. Then to 3, and then open. Then we slide into 3. Hit 3 again, and then 3 slid off to open. And then a 5 to 3. So it's not, again, it's just notes and remembering what you're doing. Sorry, my technique isn't that good, and this guitar isn't really set up for slide. But after that, we're going to slide up to 12 on 1st and 2nd string, and then up to 14. Hit 14 again. Then we go to 17, up to 19, back to 17, and then 14. All right, we'll hit 14, come to 11. This is all on the 1st string. Again. Then we do it on the 2nd string. Then we're going to slide from 9 on the 3rd and 2nd to 11. All right, that's the first two measures. And then all we do is come up to 14 again on the 1st string, hit that, and then hit it again, slide to 11, back to 14. Hit 14 again, slid back to 11 and 14. Then we hit 14 on the 2nd string, back to 14, 11, 14 on the 1st. All right, now we're going to go 14, 17, 19, 21, back to 19. All right, and then we're going to hit 19 twice, well actually 3 times, and slide out. And that's the solo. So again, a lot of numbers. I've written it out. It's really easy to follow. Not very difficult, more in the timing of it. So the first set of harmonics you'll hear in the ending. So we're going on the 1st to 2nd string at 12 and then up to 7. 7 is on the 2nd string. All right, then we're going to hit 7 again on the 2nd string to the 3rd string at 7, back to the 1st string at 7. Held just for a little bit, and then we come back to 7 on the 2nd, then 3rd, and then 12 on the 1st and 2nd, back to 7 on the 3rd. All right, so we have this. Again, that's held for a little bit. Back to 7 on the 2nd, 7 on the 3rd, 12 on the 1st, and 12 on the 2nd, 7 on the 1st, 7 on the 2nd. Again, that's held, and then everything repeats. So I've written this all out. I really hope that helps everybody. Great song, wonderful band. Enjoy.